Hey, welcome. This is Dr. Paul Dyer. Welcome to Bridges Live. And I am talking to a newfound friend, Krista, and she is calling from the Netherlands. So I know she doesn't have much time, so I'm going to get right into the show. Krista, introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Krista. I'm from Holland, the east part of Holland. I'm a former world champion in kickboxing. And I was teaching kickboxing and resilience during my life, and then I found out that people need more than only group lessons, and that there's much more than only mental resilience. So I started reading books about trauma, especially the body trauma and the relation with post-traumatic stress disorder from people who were fighting in the war. And I read a lot of stuff about it. I started about 10, 12 years ago. And then I found out the book, Awaking the Tiger. And it's written by Peter Levine. And he's the founder, actually, of Somatic Experiencing. And, actually doing martial arts as teaching kids and helping them to become more aware of their body and more like the strength, how strong they are, like physically, but also mentally. So I just sort of made my own way of teaching, and I started around 8 years ago, and I developed a sort of martial arts program where I use also trauma resilience methods to help kids and adults to feel more alive.
Well, you know, Krista, I tell you, I read the book myself, and being a war veteran myself, I have healed myself through martial arts in the 45 years I've been doing it, and that's why I teach the way I teach, of how trauma affects the body, how it affects the brain, and how you can heal it through different modalities. And this is why I also do the same things of emotional education and emotional intelligence. But you started a program there in Holland. Tell us how it's going for you.
Yeah, well, actually, it's sort of my life nowadays because of the study and my martial arts background. It's sort of grown together. So when I help kids with my team, because now we have a team of 15 people in Holland, and we use like the methods feeling safe and secure by having time for people and like not judging and not diagnosing, but we are like sharing our talent and our passion with the kids we help, and then like in the process the body comes up with what's going on. Actually, the body keeps the score. Maybe you know the book as well. It's written by Bessel van der Kolk, and it's actually telling about that the body always knows what's going on, but it doesn't use the same language. So we are all sort of body workers right now, so we work with the body, and in the movements which we use in the martial arts, the slow but also the fast movements, the body actually shares what's going on. And then I use, of course, my language and sort of exercises. So the person, in this case a kid, understands it. So when there's anxiety or something, or there's sleeping problems, we try to let them know their body. So we try to help how to talk with your own nervous system, with your body, so that you know what's going on inside, and that you know actually that your body is communicating and that it's not scary. And then it's like we have like the slow down movements, but we also have these fast action movements to become more powerful. So it's like a combination of that all. And of course we work like with the person individually, so we take time as our method. So we take the time the kid needs. So we're not working stress.
It's beautiful because I've been on the staple of this train of teaching what is so important about, you said it so perfectly, our body has a language and our mind has a language, and to connect the hemispheres of what we are thinking and what we are feeling and what we are moving, they're not all talking the same language. But once you get them communicating with each other, you become so powerful. You said that so perfectly.
True, yeah, and in Holland we have this thing which is pretty difficult for me to cooperate with, because they have this mind focus thing only, like this cognitive focus. And my way of treating people has nothing. Actually, we need the cognitive part at the end, and also to use verbal words, but our starting is with the body. So my start is to get a more safe and secure body, so that after you use the right words, instead of using words and becoming stronger, we use the body, so we feel stronger and more resilient and more loved, and then you can use your words.
I'd like to thank everyone for listening to Bridges Live. And we're talking with Dr. Paul, and we're talking with Miss Krista. She's calling from Holland, and we're talking about how the body can heal itself. We can heal through trauma. We can heal the pain and connect the languages of our bodies with the internal to the external. Now, some of the kids that you're working with, what are some of the dramatic changes you've already seen?
Well, really, Paul, actually, I see there's already a change when I do only the intake conversation. Like, we have this first meeting, this for getting to know each other a little, because I give them their time to share if they like to share, and I let them choose the place they want to sit in the room.
Yeah.
That's the start already, by getting yourself more, giving yourself more, so you can choose what you like to do instead of your mom or your dad or your teacher. So it's so much more. It's like, actually the first meeting is already a sort of change.
I hear you. When I work with kids, and people say, Dr. Paul, why do you like working with kids? I said, because kids need to be heard, seen, and understood, not just talked to or spoken at or demanded. A lot of kids are not heard. Actually, a lot of people are not seen. So many few people. I think this goes with companies, relationships, and the way we communicate with each other. We just don't hear each other, and we don't see each other.
True, and that's all because of, actually it's globally a thing, because there's no time, but it depends on how you feel time, because your time is when you're really connected. If two hearts are connected, there's no time. Then you don't need time. So that is, I think, if we can look at it that way, you don't need a watch if you are really connected. And also, if the connection is very good, then you also know when you have to go on. For example, I had a therapy with a young boy, and after 3 or 4 months, he came up to my office, and I felt that he was going to share, I'm finished here. I can do it alone right now. So he was waiting to share, and I was waiting for him. So at the end, he said, Krista, I have to share something with you. And I said, okay, I think I'm finished here. And I congratulated him. I said, oh, wow, this is really great that you share this with me, because now you're really finished, because you can say this.
Right.
Then he was like, yeah, but I didn't want to. I'm going to miss you. I said, we didn't finish our connection. We finished the work, but the connection will be there, even though if you're living somewhere else.
And I believe, and you said that globally, and I think that's why I'm just so joyful that you're able to give me this time, because this is a global concern. This is a global connection, and we can find ways to heal ourselves in our communities, in our neighborhoods, in our families, in ourselves, and then globally.
True. Yeah, and it's also, globally, it's not far away. It's about this energy, this connection, but we have so many ways to communicate and to spread what we want to spread. And I think if we all understand this being, this cell connection in every level, because every cell in the body connects. Every cell has a memory, and every cell knows what happens. It's not only the heart or the brain; it's everywhere in the body. So if we can connect this with each other, I mean, there would no war at all, because then there's no space for war.
Correct. We have, and what you're talking about, and people who have listened to Bridges Live know I've talked all about electromagnetic fields and the fields that we have in our bodies, and how our cell generates a vibration, and each vibration has a signal that reverberates throughout the body. All of this is what Miss Krista and I are talking about. This is what the work is. This is what the training is. This is what we're tapping into, and I believe this should be done throughout all schools, all communities, and all families.
True, yeah, and it starts, of course, by parents and teachers, and I think we can make, for me, that's easier, of course, to conversate, but I think I only need 3 words. If we want to help another mammal or another baby or a child, whatever, it's all about time. You need to take time. Then it's about the real intention. Your intention has to be really pure from your heart. And of course, attention. So if you're conversating or listening, try to do it without a computer in between of you, or without cell phones, but just because there are 2 bodies or 3 bodies or whatever, how many people are in the room, who communicate, and we communicate all day, even when we're not talking. We are. So, if everybody should, adults go to a puppy course, but we don't learn how to take care of the kids.
We don't.
So let's start to teach each other on a very nice way, not a teaching way, but just a sharing way. What is needed, and that's all there is: love, attention, time, and intention. If we do this, I think we as therapists, we don't have that much people. Then we are more free. Then we don't need to do it anymore.
And just like the young boy or the young person that left the program, like you said, he left the program, but he didn't leave the connection. And I think when other people leave things, they leave the connection, and we have to keep our connection, and that goes with our attention and intention and love and time. And so I wonder why so many people feel like when they lose something, they've lost something.
Yeah, I think that's because of how we brought up, and also what they've seen on the social media or what they hear in the songs. And it depends, of course, how open you're feeling in your body, because sometimes when we lose people or something bad happens, you can also take the positive things out from it. But that's something you have to be, you have to learn. And it's not that easy to learn it if your environment is not open to it. So,
martial arts has been doing this and teaching this principle for thousands of years, and it just seems like just now the modern day medicine's catching up to something that we've been working on in our practice, in our training, in our mind, in our spirit, and our soul, and I'm glad that it's coming together.
Yeah, true. And I think also the martial arts, let's talk about good teachers, because there are a lot of different teachers, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Many, also in Holland. So it's the way of the martial artist. It's not the lesson itself. It's like the years of practicing, the years of putting your life into that style. So it's like a way of life. And to me, it's still in my life every day, even though I'm not training every day, but it's still me. So I became it. And before, 20 years ago, when I started training, I was training it. Now I became like a martial artist. And that's why it's such a good sport to teach. Because it's a way of life. It's like all the metaphors are in this sport.
Yes, it is, and I agree. It is my way of life. It is my passion. It's my purpose, and I understand that. And Krista, I like to say, I know you have to go and you have much to do, and thank you so much. Is there anything you want to keep relaying to Bridges Live about what can people do to help them try to heal themselves with their intention?
Okay. Well, first of all, if you want to heal something inside of you, it's always very, very nice to have people around you where you can be with, like just be with. I mean, maybe they can talk to you, but sometimes you just need an arm or a hand or another heartbeat to heal your body. So it can also be a dog or a cat or a horse. So always find a source or a resource to help you, because you cannot do it alone. We are mammals. We need to have other people or animals around us to heal. So always try to find someone or an animal to help you at the moment or the times you feel alone. And also always keep on moving, like moving, walking, sporting, maybe do some gardening, study. Just don't sit on the couch and wait. Keep on moving and always try to feed yourself properly with good vegetables, fruits, and try to live like as healthy as much, because if you live healthy, you don't need all these medicines and stuff. You can try to live like more with all the fruit in the nature. Try to eat natural foods. If you eat meat, try to eat biological food. The body is also very open to natural food, and the more sugar you eat, the more unhealthy your body will feel. And then, of course, if your body is unhealthy, your mind will be too. So be nice to yourself and to the animals and the people around you. So if you want to heal, you have to do it like properly, like all the parts which are important in life. Friends, your love life, your body, take enough rest. It's like much more. Just the lifestyle, your sleeping, the way you treat other people. Try not to be alone all day. Try to find people where you can be with, and be nice to yourself. Give yourself a present every day, and it doesn't mean you have to buy something. You can give yourself a present to have a nice lunch, or to read a book, or whatever you like to do. So be nice to yourself, and then you will be nice to others too.
That you've really hit all the points. You hit, the internal self, the external self, and the and the euphoric self. The self above all things. Everything is connected. You said it right. Find time for yourself. Create great intention. Love thyself. You love yourself. You can love others, and yet, don't be alone. We are communicative animals. We're communicative mammals, and we need the touch of a connection. And a connection doesn't always have to be physical. It's emotional, and it's intentional heartbeat. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and then I have like this book. It's called The Body Keeps the Score, and it's written by Bessel van der Kolk. He's a psychiatrist, and he's from Holland, and he has a trauma institute, I think, in California. And this book is really amazing. You should read it.
I will. I would actually go on today, and it's called The Body Keeps the Score.
Yeah.
So thank you, Miss Krista. Like I said, we will continue this again when you have more time to talk about, the program and the kids that you're doing. But I want to say thank you for being the light of the world. And I've done this to all my guests, and all my guests has just been pretty amazing, super amazing, because they're giving back to the world. They're giving light to the darkness. They're giving, what I say is inspiring, and from our testimonials, hopefully we have testaments that get to other people. So I just want to say from my heart to yours, thank you so much.
You're very welcome, and if you need more information or you want to talk again, just try to call me and I will be there.
Oh, absolutely. So I'd like to say, don't hang up, Miss Krista. I want to talk to you off air. Thank you, everyone, for listening to Bridges Live. I'd like to thank all my sponsors for listening to Bridges Live with Dr. Paul. And you can remember, you can always reach me on drpaulholisticscience.com. That is drpaulholisticscience.com. Thank you, Gary. Have a blessed week. And remember, create a heartfelt intention.